Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I'm driving this. This is the Maruti Suzuki Invicto, which is Maruti's flagship car now. It is more than 50% more expensive than the previous flagship car, which was the Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara, of course. But this one is still quite attractively priced when you compare to the Innova Hycross, because this one costs rupees 1.41 lakhs lesser than the Innova Hycross, but still it's quite expensive. This is the only Maruti Suzuki car to be available with an automatic gearbox only. This is the only Maruti Suzuki car to be available with a strong hybrid engine only. But this is a Maruti Suzuki car which is extremely expensive, because the price of this car on road Mumbai is rupees 34.03 lakhs. Oh my god, that's a lot for a Maruti Suzuki car. But since we're talking about money, let me tell you about an amazing fintech platform called PayMe. It's a RBI registered NBFC into digital lending, which offers attractive discounts and interest rates with complete digital onboarding and easy repayments. Taking loan from PayMe requires minimum KYC and can be availed without any collaterals. The approval is instant. PayMe is fully compliant with recent RBI digital lending guidelines. Check the link in the description to know more. Coming back to the Innova, sorry, I meant the Maruti Suzuki Invicto, but let's admit it, this is nothing but the Toyota Innova Hycross with the Suzuki logo. So let me tell you what all has changed. Firstly, let's open the engine bay, where I'm a bit disappointed to see that there is no engine cover here. Engine bay seems quite empty because they should put a diesel engine, of course. And there is insulation here. No gas struts or hydraulic struts. This is quite heavy. Yeah, it is extremely heavy. But they have made changes to make it look a lot like the XL6. Why would they do that? Family signature design. Okay, you get these chrome bars. The grille is bigger when compared to the Innova Hycross. Camera is obviously there. It gets a 360-degree parking camera. Suzuki logo has been added. Now this thing extends all the way here. If you notice in the Innova Hycross, there is a kink in the headlight. They have tried to mask it by making you feel that the light is different, but it's the same. However, it has some changes inside. So it gets Nexa's 3 block LED elements for the DRL. In the Innova Hycross, the LED DRL is here, which also doubles up as the indicator, and it's longer. It's, I think, slightly lower or something, because this is not protruding here. So it extends further. This is slightly smaller here, of course. And the grille is also, the grille is different, but the bumper is also different. And fog lights are somewhere here in the Innova Hycross, which have been removed and thrown away in this particular car to save some costs, of course. But in terms of design, it is more or less like the Innova Hycross, of course. But from the side, what has changed? The wheels, of course. Firstly, this car is quite long at almost 4.8 meters in terms of length. The wheelbase is almost 2.9 meters, and you've got a lot of cuts and creases. Tires are now smaller, so it runs on 17-inch wheels, 215/60/17s. Meanwhile, the Innova Hycross gets bigger tires, 225s, 50, 18s. Yes, seems quite under-tired. Even the Innova Hycross with 18-inch wheels seems under-tired. There is a camera here, chrome treatment, of course, request sensor there as well. No roof rails because of the panoramic sunroof. There's a shark fin antenna. Let's get inside. Now, certain things have changed here. In order to reduce the cost, they have removed the ottoman, which was only there on this seat. That has been removed, which is quite disappointing. This can take 4 kgs of weight. There is no boss mode function, which is there in the Krista, I believe. And in the Innova Hycross, there's actually a button to recline the seat. This one does not get that button. Instead, it is manual. Seat is completely reclined, so extremely comfortable. Nice finishing Isofix child seat mounts. Here, I pull it, and then I can push the seat ahead and behind. Look at the amount it moves, yeah. That's kind of crazy. And of course, lot of play. Easy to move it around. But notice one thing, you can do it with this as well. So both of them work. Doesn't tumble. Let's get inside. Third row seats are decent, I would say, because firstly, they recline. Yeah, that is quite nice and comfortable. So recline angle is actually quite impressive here. Space, well, depends how much space you're going to compromise there. But if you notice one thing, it's decent actually. Only thing is underthigh support is very poor. Headroom is just about adequate. There's a light placement here. Proper seat belt. Some amount of storage space has been given. Along with a 12-volt charging socket, you can slot the seat belt right inside. But plastic quality is very bad lower down, yeah, somehow. This is small, but okay, gets the job done. AC vent placement here on the top. Kind of feels flimsy, the AC vents. Look at the effort needed to open it. So third row seats are actually decent, quite good, I would say. And then getting in and out isn't that difficult somehow, in spite of the fact that this seat does not tumble. So let's just push this. Yeah, it's actually easy to operate. And here you get twin cup holders with a tray, which you can shut like this. By the way, no tray tables, kind of disappointed with that. Two USB-C charging sockets right here. AC vents at the rear here on the top and light as well. But AC controls at the rear, and this is the button for ambient lighting. So we'll turn off the air conditioning because there is ambient lighting right there which you can't see in bright sunlight. Height adjustable seat belts. Let me actually push this seat a little behind and sit in. So there is good amount of leg room. There's not, I mean, that's not great. That is not great. Another support is kind of poor. Footroom is bad because the battery is actually placed here, the hybrid battery. So that's a bit disappointing. And headroom is adequate. Says SRS airbag right there. Seats are nice and comfortable. In fact, dashboard design looks more or less the same as the Innova Hycross. You obviously get an armrest here. And this massive panoramic roof brings in a lot of light inside, which is fantastic as well. Okay, doors open wide enough, door pockets also big enough, and you get manual sun blinds, which is a boon in India because it's so hot all the time. You get these gold inserts, so the cabin is all black with gold inserts. Meanwhile, even the seats are all black, but it gets this white double stitching. In the Innova Hycross, the interior is black and brown with the seats being brown and silver accents, so silver inserts. So that's kind of good. Door opens wide enough. Let me just shut this. It didn't shut. So we have to put in a lot more effort. If you notice one thing, rear disc of course, come on, at this price, they should give us discs outside the car as well. Just kidding. These aero bits are very Toyota-like. You see this, you know this is a Toyota. You get this Nexus 3-block LED elements here. Yes, they have been added. This is actually halogen. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing that the reverse light and the indicators halogen, but these Nexa elements, Nexa is also written here, it's kind of nice. 180 stands for number 1 car, automatic transmission, high mounted stop lamp. You obviously get a rear spoiler. Relax, dude. And here you get a rear wiper washer. Says Invicto here. In the Innova Hycross, it actually says Innova Hycross here, lower down. Meanwhile, it says hybrid here. In the Innova Hycross, it says hybrid lower down with ZX written right there, the variant name. In this, there is no variant name. There are just two variants, actually two trims you can call it. But this is a 7-seater. There's an 8-seater option in the low variant, which is the Zeta, I don't know how to pronounce it, Zeta Plus. This is the Alpha Plus, which is the top end variant. So only 3 variants, no complications there. Fake exhaust look-alike, I don't like. And here you get a reflector treatment. You get rear parking sensors, of course. A towing hook has been given. And that is the spare wheel, which is not an alloy, and it's 16-incher. The car is running on 17-incher. This is a 16-incher. You get an exhaust here, which is not really very visible as such. Now let's open the boot, and there I press a button and it opens. You won't believe it, the driver on this drive, who's helping me with moving rolling shots, was shocked to see this go down on its own. He's like, wow, how did that happen? And the car turned on and off. He's like, how is that happening? And I had to explain him how hybrid works, but he was really impressed. I can obviously recline the seat all the way, so space is otherwise 239 liters, but when reclined 690 liters. That's a huge boot. Yeah, it's a huge boot, massive boot. And then center passenger gets a head. Only thing is, it is detachable, so yes, you can put that as well. It's a very Toyota thing. They always give you proper headrest, which is nice. Some storage space here, light placement here, which you can turn on and off, of course. And I'm really impressed by the size of the boot. It's massive. I press a button and there it shuts. Quite smooth, quite nice. Certain features seen in a Maruti Suzuki car will blow your mind. It's absolutely phenomenal. You get this body cladding running throughout, which is something you get with such kind of cars to reduce the visual bulk, but still it doesn't help much. By the way, the Innova Hycross actually has hybrid written here. Yes, on the right door, on the driver door, right below the outside rear view mirror, but not on this car. Yeah, it's only available in strong hybrid, so they don't really have to differentiate it as much. Now on the inside, other than the fact that they have made changes to the colors, they have also removed 3 speakers. So this one has 6 speakers, which is similar to the GX trim of the Innova Hycross. The higher end trim, the ZX, actually gets 9-speaker JBL system. No JBL here, so through that there. Door pockets are big enough. This golden treatment actually looks quite nice. This should have been illuminated. And one touch up and down power windows in a Maruti car, that's kind of impressive. These are the controls for the adjustment of the outside rear view mirrors, of course. And this is obviously for locking, unlocking, child lock. Memory seats, you can save up to 2 people's memory, 2 people's seat settings right here. 8-way power adjust seat, says SRS airbag here. So yeah, that's nice. Seats are nice and comfortable. Tells you the tire pressure recommendation. There is a proper dead pedal there. This is to open the boot and the headlight leveler. This is to open the fuel lid and the hood of the vehicle. And once inside, it is exactly like the Innova Hycross. There is nothing different here. Firstly, there is some storage here. There is a 12-volt charging socket. This is leather, which is nice, but hard plastic lower down. And look at that. Meanwhile, this is decent size. Yeah, this is decent size. You obviously get a mirror along with a light. Same is the case here as well. Meanwhile, you get a microphone. You get a handle to hold on to because body roll will kick in. This only the driver can open. It opens only from the driver's side. And Maruti's attention to detail is such that the cable they have given has to match the color here. That's kind of crazy. This is big enough. You have two cup holders, USB-C, regular USB charging socket, and lot of buttons. So this is more dashboard mounted. This screen lacks animation. This is a 10.1-inch screen, which is decent. It's not bad at all, but come on, there's nothing to play around with here. It's so plain and basic. Yeah, let's get into settings. So it has actually got very plain fonts, which is kind of going to remind me of the 1980s. It has got wireless Apple CarPlay, but it has got wired Android Auto connectivity. This is auto dimming, of course. Let's open the sunroof, which means I have to press this button. You press it for a couple of seconds and there it opens. Commendable job to offer such a massive panoramic roof, which brings so much airy feeling, and then you can push it forward as well. And look at that, this is huge. That's what she said. Yeah, that's quite big. Now, how to shut this is another mystery. There, press the button and it shuts. So it's got some sort of ambient lighting, which is right here, which is obviously visible in night. Some light here as well. And the dashboard is quite attractive. Steering feels nice to hold. Now it gets the Suzuki logo instead of the Toyota logo. But these buttons are all mixed up. These are buttons for cruise control. This is for audio system. This is for which mode of audio you want to listen to, forward and behind a track. But volume controls here, voice commands here, controls for the MID there. So they could have put all the controls for one particular action in one side at least. And this is obviously adjustable for reach as well as rake. Meanwhile, you get automatic headlights. You do not get automatic wipers though, I think. There, lot of spray on offer. There, the engine kicked in. After realizing that the wiper is working, it's time to go probably. So, engine kicked in, and that is the infotainment system. Rather, this is the infotainment system. This is the instrument cluster. What are you guys seeing? And this is 7-inch in terms of size. Analog, but kind of disappointed with it because it could have been a lot better. Again, typical old 1980s fonts of Toyota have been given here. 21.1 kilometers per liter. No, that's liters per 100 kilometers. That is 5 kilometers per liter, honestly. So you can browse through a lot of information, which is kind of nice. But the main thing for me is that there is a tire pressure monitor. So here it is telling me how the hybrid system is working. That thing should be here as well, but it's so cumbersome to use. Now I can't figure it out. Let me get into reverse. This is the reverse parking camera, which obviously has adaptive guidelines, and then you can see a top view as well. But why do I have to see the number plate? I don't understand at all. The guidelines don't seem to be adaptive. Let me get in and out of reverse, and here we are. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me press this view button, and then this is the other view which I get. So I can change the view, I can get side views, I can get all those views, and then automatically detects and turns on the camera at speeds of around 15 kilometers per hour, under 15 kilometers per hour. So it will do that for you. That is the engine start button. Gear lever is nice to hold. Electric parking brake, auto hold function, drive mode selector, EV mode, and traction control button. So everything is in easy reach, and some physical controls for the air conditioning. This is for seat ventilation. Yeah, this does not illuminate, but it shows you the display here. So front seat gets seat illumination, and it has a 2-zone climate control air conditioning, one zone and the other zone behind. What am I even talking? This screen, look at the graphics. Camera quality is not that impressive. Yeah, I'm really disappointed by how bad the camera quality is here. It could have been a lot better. For this price, you obviously expect more. There is a hidden cup holder here, which I spotted right now. I didn't even know it exists. So that's quite camouflage, and your knee would touch this thing. So having such a big center console is not a brilliant idea always. I'm still figuring out what else can I do. Let me do one thing. Let me listen to some audio. In all honesty, audio quality is quite average. It's not that brilliant. They're saying that it's charging the battery right now. You get paddles as well, and the horn. It's okay. It is not that great a horn, but then it gets the job done. AC is actually quite a chiller, and thankfully you've got physical controls as well, because that's something you really need. I was thinking here I can get into, okay, there are themes. You can set some themes, and that's about it. Maruti, Suzuki, and Toyota, you are a match made in heaven, because this thing, the 10.1-inch screen, is so average, not interesting at all. Let's turn off the car. It says, attention, check rear seat. I shall do that. Let's get out. It's going to continuously ring, ting, 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 ting. And the key has this bluish tinge, and it is obviously a Toyota key. Unlock the car, lock the car, and this is to open the boot of the vehicle. Here, I lock the car. Will the windows roll down when I press the button? I hope it does. There I keep it pressed. I think it should roll down. If it doesn't, I am not buying this car. Okay, I'll go and buy the Skoda Octavia because at the same price, it will roll down all the windows, but it's not available on sale. It's not rolling down the windows. So I'm a little disappointed with that. Come on, do it. So guys, let me know what you think about this car. Will you buy it over the Toyota Innova Hycross? I'll tell you there are reasons to buy this car over the Toyota Innova Hycross as well. But before that, let's start driving. It's going to keep ringing. Turn lights off, it says. I'll turn off the lights, okay? Don't be an NTK. Here, when I turn on the car, seat actually moves ahead. Suzuki logo comes here. Suzuki logo comes there. It obviously gets Suzuki Connect with 50 features as well. It shows me exactly which door is open. But it's the same. Okay, I will obey all the rules. Please, 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 please don't scold me. Let's go. Okay, let's start driving this brand new car. They gave me the car when it had done just 35 kilometers. Okay, Suzuki logos. As much as you want, you can show yourself, but it's not going to change you from a Suzuki to a Toyota. It says welcome guests. That's kind of rude. Audio system, why does it turn off automatically in most of the cars when I turn on the car? I don't want to listen to audio. Why? Anyways, if you notice, there is no sound whatsoever. We're going to change this from the tire pressure monitor to see how the hybrid system works. There's nothing to change here. Straight away going to get into drive and we are off. Okay, the battery is actually powering the wheels. It's that smooth and silent. So this hybrid system is fantastic because the battery is able to provide a lot of juice at lower speeds. In fact, Toyota's like, almost 50-60% of your driving in urban conditions you can do on pure electric mode, which means below 40 kilometers per hour, I believe. So yeah, it's telling me rear seat belts also if someone's buckled up or not. So that's quite interesting. This car is available in 4 colors and it has this acoustic glass as well, which is good because it's so freaking hot. It's already 30 degrees at like 8 AM in the morning. Yeah, it is so okay. Now the engine is kicked in. Now the battery as well as engine both are actually powering the front wheels because I think there was slight incline and I think the battery doesn't have much juice as well. Even though they have a EV mode here, I don't know how much you can actually use. Ground clearance is decent and this has high profile. Oh wow, what a bird! Slightly high profile tires when compared to the Innova Hycross. That's the reason when driving on such condition of roads, you don't really worry much. And then you can see the steering requires very little effort and it's a Maruti Suzuki car where the steering actually centers, which is the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life. Here we are and I'm straight away going to get into sport mode. Drive mode, I'm going to change to power. Traction control, I'm going to turn off and left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Go. One nice long surge of performance. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour comes up in 9.5 seconds, which is quick enough. So this is a 2-liter petrol engine, which is a strong hybrid running the Atkinson cycle. The same engine with the same displacement also comes in naturally aspirated form in the Innova Hycross non-hybrid, but not in the Invicto because you only get a hybrid version here. Oh, little bit of wheel spin, huh? I like that aggression which you're providing right now. So yes, in terms of performance, it's quite good because that electric assist really works well for this car. So it's producing around 184 horsepower, which is decent, but the engine alone produces 150 horsepower and the electric motor, which is a 1.6 kilowatt hour nickel metal hydride battery, produces 112 horsepower. The combined output cannot be 150 plus 112 because they produce it at different RPM. So the combined output is 184 horsepower. Meanwhile, in terms of torque output, this engine alone, the 2-liter TNGA engine, it produces approximately 188 Newton meters of torque. This guy is going to come to the right lane because he is the fastest vehicle in the road on the road right now. So 188 Newton meters of torque, which comes in at 4,400 RPM and stays there till 5,200 RPM. It's very high up in the rev range because this is running the Atkinson cycle. But don't worry, the electric motor has your back. It produces 206 Newton meters of torque right from 0 RPM. Rumblers are no issue. I can just go over them. Yeah, it's a bit noisy in spite of the fact that it has got acoustic glass, which doesn't really help in cutting down the acoustics of this car, improving the acoustics of this car and reducing the sound of the vehicle. This guy will come in between the road and then he will stop. Then he'll take a reverse. Funny thing. Anyways, we are in Jodhpur right now and you can see cows and you can see a lot more stuff coming up ahead, like massive puddles. People blame Mumbai for bad irrigation. Come to Jodhpur, 2 drops of rain, it's flooded completely. Anyways, I'm not here to rant about Jodhpur. I am here to drive this car, which has a Suzuki logo but is made by Toyota, of course, and it is a fantastic car. It's a people mover, really very comfortable, nice in terms of performance. I don't know what air is coming from somewhere. I feel some air, I don't know, but brakes are decent, but there's this nosedive under heavy braking. I mean, compared to the Crista, obviously the suspension is slightly on the stiffer side, but the suspension is quite compliant, and especially with the high profile tires and 17-inch wheels instead of the 18-inch wheels, this car does ride better. And we shall cross this नमस्कार भैया, कैसे हो?
बढ़िया सर।
क्या चल रहा है आजकल?
दया है आप लोगों की।
हमारी दया तो CID की है। चलो, and off we go. And before we go, there is a speed breaker. So that is the power of a hybrid system, that it gives such nice assist. Now that initial acceleration is very good indeed. Yeah, it really rolls off the line with a lot of enthusiasm. So performance is something you would never complain in this car unless and until you reach higher speeds, because power starts to taper off once you cross 100 kilometers per hour. So overall performance, I honestly feel is amazing for city driving, and in the city now you can get good fuel efficiency. I think this will do more than 18 kilometers per liter without any hiccup. Claim mileage is I think 23.24 kilometers per liter, which is kind of possible if you drive in the city, because the more you drive on battery power, the better it is going to be in terms of performance and fuel efficiency, because of the torque assist and the electric motor having all the torque coming in at 0 RPM. This car's performance is very linear. There is no pushback in the seat, which obviously all of us witnessed in the Crista diesel, because there was a lag low down. There is no lag here. It's just smooth. It's just so refined, and the engine becomes quite vocal higher up in the rev range. There is a charge eco power meter here, which shows how the battery charging and all that, and how you're driving. But there is no tachometer. So what is the kind of RPM it holds on to? I think it redlines around 6,500 RPM, because peak power of 188 horsepower comes in at 6,000 RPM. So obviously 500 RPM more on the top to just play around with, and it becomes very vocal in the top end here. But this is mated to a eCVT gearbox, because of which obviously there's this rubber band effect. You've got paddle shifters, so you can actually browse through the 6 ratios if you so wish. Here I have done that right now, and we are in second. I wouldn't complain about the performance, but these paddle shifters are absolutely useless. There is no point of having them here. What will I do with them either? Now I can obviously shift this gears with using this lever as well. So sport mode is there. There are 3 drive modes. There's an eco mode, which is for better fuel efficiency. There's a normal mode, which is the best of eco and power, and there's a power mode. We're driving in power mode right now. There's a dedicated EV mode, for which you really have to have a lot of patience to conserve that battery. Usually never is able to function on that at all. Now why are they using an old school heavy nickel metal hydride battery? Why not a lithium ion one? Well, Toyota feels that a nickel metal hydride battery is better to deal with thermal runaways, which lithium ion batteries are more susceptible to, even though the fact is that the lithium ion battery is more expensive, and that's the reason they probably opted for this cheaper battery tech. But you know what is a thermal runaway? You know, in case of flooding, if water reaches one cell, then starts to combust, and it puts all the other cells around onto fire as well, but very slowly, and all of a sudden, after spraying fire extinguisher on the car and the battery for like hours and hours and hours together, you think that everything is sorted, but then combustion happens and then the car is on fire. That's the reason you see a lot of Teslas on fire. They use lithium-ion batteries. They also use NMC batteries. But Toyota is using the nickel metal hydride battery in most of their bigger cars like the Camry and Lexuses and this thing also. And that's the reason you have never seen any of them combust or go onto fire. Okay, touch wood. There's no wood in this car, but I don't want to jinx it. So as I see it, I think it's a good idea to get this car, because I'll tell you 2 advantages of this car with the Suzuki logo. The Toyota Innova Hycross with the Suzuki logo has 2 advantages rather than having a Toyota logo. Firstly, Maruti's dealership network is quite good, so this is only sold to the Nexa outlets. So that is one advantage, and I feel you get a more premium experience, because that's what Nexa is focusing towards. They've hired a lot of people from Mercedes-Benz, Audi, BMW and all that stuff to give you a fantastic experience in terms of sales and service and all that. Secondly, what I honestly feel is that because of the low profile tires on the Hycross, the ride is not that great. You can feel a jolt when you hit a bad bump. Here that is not the case. Somehow it does manage to perform way better over bad roads, because high profile tires for the win. I know high profile tires look really ungainly, but you know what, even with the 18 inches, the Innova Hycross looks ungainly, so might as well just have 17 inches and less headache to deal with. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Accelerator and brake pedals press simultaneously. Yes, I know, I can feel that, and off we go. Body roll is obviously there, but it's decently well contained. Car is all over the place. It's all over the place. So because of the heavy weight and body roll, considerable body movement, this is not a car you would like to push around the corners. This is an electric power steering, which is light, but it's consistent. It's not about I mean, it doesn't have much feel or feedback, but it's consistent enough. And then if you try to corner hard, you can feel a lot of roll, but this is not for what this car is made for. I feel the suspension of the Innova was more rugged. This is a monocoque chassis, front wheel drive, of course. The Innova Krista, I was talking about Krista, I think. The Krista is obviously rear wheel drive, and I wish they also rebadge the Innova Krista. I'm being so stupid right now, and launch it as the Invicto Tour probably. They could do that. They're not going to do that. They're not really aiming for much volumes with this car. So the focus is just to show that Maruti Suzuki can offer you a premium experience as well. And talking about premium experience, I already told you there are 3 variants here. Okay, the range actually starts slightly under 30 lakhs and goes all the way to 34.03 lakhs for this particular model, which is the top end. You only get this with the 7-seater, the Alpha Plus. The Zeta Plus is available in 7-seater as well as 8-seater, and for the 8-seater you pay 6,000 rupees more. Now when compared to the Innova Hycross, I told you that this costs 1.41 lakhs cheaper. I'm talking about on-road prices, of course, on-road Mumbai. I'm talking about this particular car, the top end Invicto, when compared to the similar variant in the Innova, which is obviously the ZX trim, not the ZXO, because the ZXO is not having an equivalent variant in the Maruti lineup. So there is no ADAS here. ADAS is anyways useless, but I don't understand how Toyota is charging like not much money to offer ADAS in the Innova Hycross, which is quite interesting. So it has the Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, something of that sort. Now Maruti cannot rebadge that, although they've rebadged almost everything in the world possible when it comes to Toyota. I think that this car can do decent numbers, but more important than that, this car should change the perception of Maruti Suzuki in India, that they can also make cars which are more expensive. Now, obviously, all of us are enthusiasts, so we know that this is nothing but the Toyota Innova Hycross with the Suzuki logo. However, people who are not really car enthusiasts will go to a Maruti Suzuki dealership and they want to upgrade from the previous car. Most likely, it's going to be a Ciaz, because Grand Vitara owners are not going to part away with their cars so soon, but they'll have to pay quite a lot of money. I don't think anyone upgrades from a Ciaz, which is a mid-segment, mid-size sedan, which is priced around rupees 15 lakhs, all the way going to 30 lakhs plus for something of this sort. But I think in the future, when Grand Vitara owners want to upgrade and want to stay in the Suzuki portfolio only, that is when this car will come into play. I love the fact that there isn't much hesitation when you get on the throttle because of the hybrid. Now it instantly pushes forward ahead, and even though a diesel is a diesel, if you have seen the thumbnail, you can clearly see me advocating for diesel. Hybrid is the next best thing because it's still better than the soulless electric vehicles, and that's the reason Toyota has not put its money on electric, yet, completely not yet, because they believe that the future is definitely hybrid. I like how easy the steering is to twirl. This is a car almost anyone can drive. This car, automatic transmission is slow. Okay, it is lethargic. There is no non-hybrid, only strong hybrid available. But we can all deal with all this because now Maruti Suzuki wants to position itself upward, and because they have not launched the non-hybrid, it's clear the focus is definitely, and I'm telling it to you again, the focus is definitely not on volumes. It's just about creating that perception and image of Maruti Suzuki that they can launch a premium vehicle. Now come on, don't say that they should go and rebadge the Land Cruiser 300 and launch a, I don't know what brand, what model they might launch it as, Maruti Versa 300. That's not going to happen because Toyota is not going to give them the Land Cruiser 300, the LC300, the true blue SUV, and Maruti Suzuki is going to return the favor by not giving its true blue SUV to Toyota either to rebadge. Yeah, the Espresso is not going to Toyota anytime soon. Now, this is a circumstance where ADAS would be quite helpful, I believe, but yeah, I don't miss it, and I think Ottoman could be offered as an accessory. Obviously, Maruti Suzuki is going to offer a lot of accessories for this car, and there's a wireless charger, which is actually an accessory. Come on, wireless charger can be offered as standard because that's like a basic feature to have. In terms of the platform, it feels nice, robust. I think insulation levels could be a lot better. They are not the best here. And sound from the engine is also quite loud and boomy, higher end of the rev range. I don't even know what RPM we are roaming around, but I know it's quite loud. In terms of top speed, I think this will hit around 180-190 km per hour, which is fast enough, but most people are not going to care to go to that speed because it doesn't really feel that stable at higher speeds, specifically speaking, because the suspension is calibrated more towards comfort than handling, and so is the steering and so is the body. So there is that movement, there is that roll which you can feel. The Innova Krista definitely feels more robust, but I think this car will also be a great alternative for people who are looking to get a car immediately, because I think waiting periods will not be as much as is in the case with the Innova Hycross. Of course, I'm talking about the strong hybrid, and that brings me to a very important thing. This battery of this car is actually having a 8 years 1.6 lakh kilometer warranty, which is very standard. In terms of the car warranty, I think 2 years 40,000 kilometers is what Maruti usually offers, and you can extend it by another 2 years 40,000 kilometers to 4 years 8 years, I wish, 4 years 80,000 kilometers, which is quite good. good. No, it is not, because Toyota offers a standard warranty of 1 lakh kilometers. 3 years, 1 lakh kilometers is a standard warranty on Toyota cars, which you can go ahead and extend to 2.2 lakh kilometers in 5 years as well. And that is one of the major reasons why Toyota is able to attract people to the rebadged Maruti cars, because they are offering better warranty. So with a Toyota, obviously, I mean a Toyota underneath, Maruti Suzuki can definitely offer a better warranty, but they will not, because if they start doing it, then other people will like, why not offering it on other cars as well. So that's that. So guys, this is my vlog of the Maruti Suzuki Invicto, which is nothing but the Toyota Innova Hycross with the Suzuki logo. I feel getting the original makes more sense, because you get more features. You obviously will definitely get better resale as well, because the Innova brand name is super duper strong. I mean, it's difficult to beat the resale value of an Innova, and the prices are just climbing through the roof. From the Qualis to the Innova to the Innova Krista to the Innova Hycross, this segment or range of cars have performed exceptionally well in terms of sales, in terms of popularity, in terms of comfort, and definitely in terms of resale value as well. You let me know in the comment section by telling me which one would you opt for. Would you opt for the Innova Hycross, or would you opt for the Maruti Invicto, and why would you do that? And don't forget to check out this amazing fintech platform called PayMe by clicking on the top right corner of the screen right now. Bye bye.